Okay, so express this quadratic here in this form. So it's completing the square, isn't it? Okay, and then it says hence sketch it. Now, what we got to appreciate here is because there's a minus in front of the x squared, okay, this is going to be like an N-shaped, isn't it? Quadratic. Okay, it's going to be a frowny, it's not happy at all because there's a minus in front of the x squared. Okay, so it's like the flip of, or the reflection of, the normal quadratic, the U shape we consider. So in this case, it's going to have the stationary point is going to be a maximum, isn't it? Okay, it's going to be a max there. So that's something to look out for there. Now, when we complete the square, of course, if there's any number in front of the x squared that isn't 1, positive 1, we can't complete the square straight away. So what we've got to do is, and let's write this down. Okay, we've got to factorize and wait the first two terms to get whatever's in front of here out of the way. So in this case, because there's minus, it's like minus 1, isn't it? Okay, think of it like that. So we're going to factorize out the first two terms to get rid of whatever's in front of this x squared. So we're going to take out minus 1. Okay, so in our square bracket here, we need to consider what am I timesing by minus 1 to get this here. Okay, of course, you're just timesing minus 1 by x squared, aren't you? Which is what I want. I want just x squared here. And what am I timesing minus 1 then to get 6x? Well, to get positive 6x, right? Obviously, it's just going to be 6x here, yeah? Because you're timesing it by 1. But if I'm timesing it by minus 1, I need to have minus 6x in there, yeah? If you think about the factorizing process. Because when I expand out then, minus times the minus will give me positive. And then we've got minus 7 then at the end. So what I can do then is, remember, we sort of zoom in to that square bracket and we complete the square here. So bracket squared, if you remember, you halve this then, half of minus 6 is minus 3. And then you always then take away the square of this. Okay, so square of 3 is 9, always take it away. So you take away the square of that, which is 9. Close square bracket, and then remember that minus 7 at the end then. Okay, so then we just reverse the process then, what I did earlier of factorizing. Now we're going to expand times through by that minus 1. So I get minus x minus 3 all squared, okay, and which is what they want there, yeah. And then minus 1 times minus 9, okay, so times that out becomes a plus 9. And then don't forget the minus 7 at the end. That minus 1 does not affect that, yeah, because that didn't get factorized. To finish off then, we get minus x minus 3 all squared. And then 9 minus 7 is plus 2, yeah? Positive 9 take away 7 is plus 2. So it says then, hence sketch the graph indicating the coordinates of a stationary point. Okay, so that's what my quadratic here now is equal to. Okay, completed the square. So if it's equal to this, right, we just need to appreciate now that it's going to have a maximum. We know it's going to have a maximum because it's a minus quadratic, okay, minus in front of the x squared. Okay, but we just need to appreciate here that this actually does give a maximum, okay, and the maximum will be 2. The reason why it gives a maximum is, if you think about it, x minus 3 all squared is always greater than 0, isn't it? Okay, or could equal 0. Because it's a squared, it cannot be negative. If you chuck a minus in front of it, this result here, which is always going to be like positive, if you chuck a minus in front of it, then that's always going to be negative if you think about it, because it takes the positive answer all the time and makes it negative. So this here is always going to be less than or equal to 0. Okay, so to get a maximum for this, okay, we want this to sort of be the highest it can be, yeah? Okay, this result here to be the highest it can be, and the highest this can be in minus of this bracket is 0. The highest it can be is 0. So when we have this at a maximum here, this will be 0, and then we have 2 there. So hence we can say, look, max occurs when the bracket here is equal to 0, okay? Now, it doesn't matter if it's the minus the bracket is equal to 0. Essentially, the bracket will equal 0 then, which means then x minus 3 is 0, so x will be 3. Okay, so that's where it occurs. And of course, the maximum, when x is 3, this then thing will be 0, and we get a maximum of 2. So a maximum value of y will equal to 2 when x is equal to 3. So, sketching it, x will be 3, y will equal to 2, so your quadratic will look something like that. And we've indicated the point of the stationary point there, 3, 2.